We had to read this book in English too, but I was an edgy teenager too worried about stupid edgy teenager shit. I also hated reading in high school, so I never read any of the books we had to read. But a year after I got out, I got into the Beatles. The band made me want to learn and research everything about them. And one of the last things I researched about them was John Lennon's post-Beatles career. It doesn't matter, in 1980, he was shot in the back 4 times with hollow point bullets. The man who shot him, Mark David Chapman, then sat down, read The Catcher in the Rye for about 20 minutes until the cops showed up and arrested him. A year later, John Hinckley Jr. attempted to assassinate Ronald Reagan. He cited this book as an inspiration. The reason these niggas did what they did because of this book was because it's not for them. The book is not for adults. Yes, it may have been intended for adults originally, but kids grew fond of it. This story to me is about a young man who didn't want to become a man yet because he saw the adult world as dark and depressing and full of phonies. He sees it as dark and evil and full of fakes who talks about shit that really doesn't matter. People who just fake smile and act like they're all goody-goody with you. That's phony to him. Basically, people that don't notice the world like him. He thinks he's so different and he's so full of himself, calling everyone who isn't dark and depressed like him a phony. You're an NPC. You're not thinking. You're just doing what you're programmed to do. You're literally you're a loser. He's right in between being a kid and an adult, but he just wants to be a kid right now because he sees what happens to adults. We saw what happens to adults who read this because adult life is basically suicide. So he feels he needs to be the savior of innocence, standing in the rye at the cliff, making sure the kids don't go overboard into the adult world because that world is depressing, that world is sad, and that world is gonna make you try to kill the president, and that world is gonna make you kill John Lennon. The irony of this book being made for adults and banned for like 20 years out of schools was that they thought the kids who read this shit was gonna get all depressed and like Holden and try to run away and drop out of school and start a new life and whatever. But the only people that have done violent things with this book has been adults. It shows the artificiality in the world. Even today. And I can definitely see how a 26-year-old degenerate who lives with his mom and works a dead-end job and is fucking 3 years of debt and college could read this, think there's no hope, and feels like he needs to save the innocence of the youth. And if John Lennon is the biggest phony of all, he's corrupting the kid's mind, that nigga needs to... Holden didn't accomplish what he said he was going to do in the book. He said he was going to run away and start a new life in the woods, but he ultimately didn't. And he's going back to school by the end of the book. All of the things he said. And I feel like the niggas who read this, the adults who read this, and felt like Holden didn't complete the mission, I think they felt like they took it upon themselves that they needed to complete the mission. they took it upon themselves that they had to personally get rid of the phonies in the world. Because if they don't do something now, they're gonna be miserable. Maybe they had a plan just like Holden to walk into the boss's office and demand a raise or else they're getting out of here, they're leaving. And if the boss lets them go, then fine, they'll go find a better job, they'll get a nice job, a nice wife, a nice car, they'll live happily. But they realistically saw that as impossible and decided to just get rid of the phonies instead. This book shows us what happens when you see the wrong in the world and you have absolutely no plans on doing anything about it. Oh no, a dropout ran away from home and it took him 2 days and almost 300 pages to figure out the secret password to life.
Family, it's family, I get it. I've got it! The password is... password.
It worked! Nevertheless, this is a book that I believe everyone in my generation should read. And no, I'm not 37, please stop saying that. If you see something wrong in the world and you know that you can't realistically do anything about it, first of all, remember that this is all in your head, so don't look at Elon Musk and say he's the biggest phony of all and waste your life fucking roasting him on Twitter. Either give up now and learn about absurdity or some shit, I don't know, watch this nigga's video on it, or find other non-lethal ways of doing it. The author of this book, J.D. Salinger, was in World War II. He was on D-Day. But for somehow, some way, he made a book more impactful to society than any of those World War II books back then. I hate Marvel right now. I see this country is turning decadent, and I hate when rappers rap about dying and we all dance to it, and then they die and we keep dancing until the next nigga does it over again. But I'm not just gonna sit here and say that the rappers are phonies and start killing them. I'm not gonna fucking waste my life hating them on Twitter. I'm gonna press this big record button right here and just start talking about it and try to make it creative and artistic in a way that you've never seen before. Kendrick Lamar hates so many of the toxic, fucked up shit we niggas do, and then we just call it culture. What did he do? He made his second greatest album. Yes, it's better than Good Kid, Mad City, fucking fight me. Basquiat wrote poems on the side of trains. South Park makes poop and fart jokes. And I just buy records and because you just gotta smile at the absurdity of it all, bro. This is all in your head, and you can get it out by learning about absurdity, bro. Like, I'm telling you, bro, this is not a sponsor, bro. Look, just watch this nigga's video. It's not a sponsor, bro. Rage, no, it's not that. Skills, no, it's not that, bro. Just watch this nigga's video, bro. It's really good, though, for real.
Can't find a girl from the bus. When she looks at me, it makes me blush. If you sit on me, I almost nut. Your boyfriend sucks, I'm not the judge. Yeah, I ghosted you, don't hold a grudge. And I hate myself, I fucking suck.